I do it just so you guys can hear me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. You see the new setup. We're trying something new today. Schedules aren't aligning lately, so you haven't seen the podcast episode consistently. So we decided to do this virtual. Still the same gang with me. Still the same protocol. Subscribe. Share with all your Hooper fans, friends, and family. Give us a little support. Hit the comment section. Let us know that you tuned in. But let's get right into it. We got some NBA talk.
Rumble?
We got some local talk. What happened?
So you about to say, let's get ready to rumble?
Let's get ready to rumble!
I was considering it. Man, I got to get used to this because I got the camera up here, but my laptop down here. It's kind of hard to kind of manage. But, all right, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
But let's get right into it, y'all.
Right in the face.
We got a long list of notes that, aren't really in any particular order. So how about somebody just put their hand in the hat and pick something out? What do you guys want to talk about first?
Tyler, you lead the
Going
way.
into that real quick. Wow, topic number 1 today. Jimmy Butler suspended again. Can you believe that? Wow.
Oh, God.
We got that topic again. I can't believe it. The hat just randomly got us there.
Who would have thought this would be the third week in a row or third episode in a row? And it's crazy because it hasn't even been consecutive weeks. So Jimmy Butler is bugging because it hasn't even been consecutive weeks that we've been doing episodes. And yet it's still the third episode in a row where he is a topic of discussion. But yeah, he got suspended again. I actually didn't read into it. Why? Oh, and I did. I lied. I did. He missed the flight, right? That's what it was?
He's been missing flights all year, though.
Yeah, he's been doing it the entire time that he was on the Miami Heat. Like, he is...
Yeah, he's been flying private.
There's been multiple times where he's taken his own flight.
Yeah.
I think that's allowed, though. I think he wasn't doing it the right way this time. That's why he got suspended. Because I'm sure a lot of players...
Or something like that, the shoot around?
They rescheduled the team flight this time.
I'm sure plenty of players are too bougie to fly with the team, even though they're not going to admit it. But yeah, that sucks, man. Zion got suspended for the same thing just a couple weeks ago. Not even, probably like a week ago.
Yeah, but that man,
I know why you're
that
laughing.
man wants to be.
Oh, maybe I don't know why you're laughing. Never mind. Go ahead.
Stop, meme.
I'll tell you something different.
You saw Stephen
He
A.
was dying at Wendy's, and Willie Collins was working at Wendy's.
You saw Stephen A.
Oh, fuck.
Went crazy on ESPN.
Yeah, why?
He's talking about, I better not find out it was food related. I started dying, bro.
It's some Poland, bro.
Excuse me.
He got stuck at 2.
Yeah, that's insane, bro. That it would be crazy if it was. But this is about Jimmy Butler. What do you guys think? Do you think 2-game suspension is adequate, or do you think they're just trying to prove a point because he's all over the place right now?
I think the Heat look really bad right now.
Who?
But go ahead, Tyler. I'll go after you.
No, go on. Because I have some meme stuff I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make some jokes.
Okay. I think as an everybody's so focused on Jimmy Butler, and what I'm looking at is the person who he works for, which is the Miami Heat at the moment. And I just feel like as a basketball player, I don't think he's doing anything wrong because he doesn't want to be there. And when you hold someone captive and they don't want to be there, it looks like he's doing all these things that are wrong that he wasn't already doing, like catching his own flights and things like that. I think more than so, it's not really the Miami Heat. It's most like a Pat Riley thing. And I think he's just too old to be like a GM for these new players. I just feel like he doesn't fit what's going on right now. And I just think the Miami Heat look crazy. Like, you guys are talking about trading a player, and then you go take him off suspension early, let him play. He's out here taking 9 jump shots a game, shooting 1-foot fadeaway jumpers from the 3-point line. Like, he don't want to be there, and you guys just like you're forcing him to be there. So like, I just think Miami looks crazy right now.
I actually disagree.
But wait,
go ahead.
Me too.
Yeah,
that's not really fair though. He signed a contract, and go ahead because you're gonna say the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I disagree because I think one of the biggest problems that we have as fans and the general public, the fandom of the NBA, is we always kind of just see it from the player's perspective, and that's just not how the life works. Like, there are two entities involved here. There is a whole organization, a $1 billion organization, and there is this player. He doesn't want to be there. That's okay. And it's very obvious that they're working on getting him out of there. A trade's not going to happen when he snaps his fingers. That's not how trades happen. The team has to benefit from this. They have to. So there's no world where they just...
A third of their salary is tied up in Jimmy Butler. A third. Like 1/3 in one player.
I mean, what do you think he should be playing, or should they shelf him? We all know who Jimmy Butler is. So why make him do something that you know he's not going to want to do?
It's a group decision.
Because you're setting the precedent.
They don't have to make him. If he doesn't want to, he can sit out. If he does not want to play, he can't sit out. Players have done that before. Players have gone on strike. There's been lockout seasons where players literally said, "We're not playing until y'all fix this." You know what I mean? There was a season that was only 65 games. What, 2013 or something like that? It was a while ago. 2011, yeah, something like that. It wasn't even that long ago, realistically. It was within our generation. Players can do that, you know what I mean? Huh?
No, I thought it was a bubble year. That was 2019. Never mind. Take that back.
No, I mean, that season was a different instance. Yeah, that season was short, but it wasn't because the players were on strike. It was, the world was on strike. Yeah. But
I got you.
But yeah, like,
I don't think you could blame Jimmy, or I'm sorry, I don't think you could blame the Heat. That's not fair.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because like I said, he can't just snap his fingers and say, "I want to trade me tomorrow." That's not how that works. They need to find something that's going to work for them, and that they can get something out of it, because they invested all this time, all these resources. A player that's a franchise player, you know how much he probably bled them out of? You know how many things he asked them for that we don't even know about? These teams be taking care of their stars, bro, giving them whatever they want, whatever flights, whatever amenities, you know what I mean? Excuse me.
Bro, he has his own coffee shop now. He literally has his own coffee shop after joining the Heat. That already lets you know. Like, I guarantee you, they helped him do everything. Jimmy is just a full-fledged diva, bro. Like, you signed a contract.
Excuse me, y'all. My bad. Keep going.
No, you're good. I mean, I see how you guys see it 100%, and I respect the view. But I just think when it comes to him, we know who he is. Everywhere he's gone, when he's wanted out, teams have traded him. And
not instantly,
I'm not
though.
saying that it's okay.
It's not instant.
I'm not saying what he's doing is okay. Not saying that. But what I'm saying is, like, you have a product. You're the Miami Heat. That is your product. And right now, he's a representation of what your product is. He's the head of your snake. And the head of your snake doesn't even want to be there. So, like, you're trying to be a playoff team. You're trying to do all these things. Yeah, you're right, Nas. A trade doesn't happen right away. I agree with you. The right trade never happens right away. But something has to happen to where, like, it's not a laughing stock. Like, teams aren't ready to play Miami because they don't feel like when Jimmy's on the floor, he's playing 100%. So I just think it's like...
But that's not Miami's fault. It goes back to the point. That's not Miami's fault. It's a laughing stock.
Well, if Miami knows he's not going to try, why play him?
Because he's under contract.
A third of your salary tied up in one person.
As long as he is willing to play,
he's not contributing to winning.
As long as he is willing to play, they have to play him. They cannot just say, he can't say, "I want to play," and they'll say, "No, never. You're not playing." That's not how it works. That sets a bad precedence for the organization. The organization can't taint themselves. They can't make themselves look bad for other free agents in the future to come here and be like, "Nah, we don't like how y'all do business. Why would I come over there?" That's a thing that happens.
That's what's happening right now, though.
It's not. Jimmy's looking bad. Organizations don't want Jimmy.
Players did not want to go to Miami. No one wanted to go to Miami.
Players want to go to Miami every offseason. It just doesn't work out. Players want to go there all the time.
Dame has to go to Miami. Bradley Beal has to go to Miami. LeBron James went to Miami. Jimmy went to Miami. Like, everybody ends up asking to go to Miami. They just never have the money to sign.
Everybody leaves after 4 years. The only person who stuck around was
that's fine. And that's fine.
It's the same thing with the Spurs.
To say that Miami is in any way at fault here, to me, is crazy, because they're not doing anything wrong. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're shopping him. They're doing what he asked. But they're not just gonna.
The trade deadline's not even happening yet. It's 2 weeks away.
They're not just gonna trade him for whatever the hell. Like, no, Jimmy, like that's not how this works, bro. We got to get something out of this. You can't be the only one to walk out of here with something good. What are we gonna do? Just sit back and be like, oh well, we'll just get a couple second round picks just to get him out of here because he asked. No, man, we're trying to get something out of you. Whatever value we can get out of you.
So
Jimmy's doing all this to go to the Suns and be a first round exit. No, I was saying Jimmy's doing all this to go to the Suns just to be a first round exit. Like this is crazy.
I don't really like that Jimmy and the Suns anyways, but that's for a later debate. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't think he brings anything that they don't have other than toughness and defense. But I mean,
he adds playmaking. He adds playmaking, which they don't have. He adds defense, which they don't have.
A playmaker.
Huh?
No, he's not.
Tyus Jones is a playmaker.
No, he's not. He's just a point. He's just a ball handler.
No. Tyus is a playmaker, but he's a god awful defender. He is arguably one of the worst defenders in the NBA. So no matter how much he play makes for you, knowing that he's not going to offer you any defense is not worth
it. Oh gosh, I'm having a rough day. But you were saying something, Orlando, and then you stopped.
No, nothing. I think when it comes to Jimmy Butler, it is like I can see where you guys are coming from because you guys don't feel like the Miami Heat are doing anything. But like you say, and we don't know what's happening behind closed doors. We don't know if it's really Jimmy Butler or if it's Pat Riley. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? This is all speculations, but my speculation, I just think players don't really care to play for Pat Riley like they used to. And I think we can agree with that it's not the same that it used to be with Pat Riley where people were like lining up or players were wanting to take discounts to play with other good players like they were in the LeBron James days. It's not the same.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with going to play for Pat Riley. That had something to do with Dwayne Wade and LeBron James being best of buddies trying to get together somewhere, and Miami was the place that they decided.
No, I'm talking about Shane Battier. I'm talking about Mike Millers. I'm talking about those guys who took those pay cuts to win.
To play with LeBron.
Look at Kevin Love.
Play with LeBron.
Kevin Love just took a pay cut to win.
They went there for LeBron.
He played with Shaq. So did Antoine Walker. So did Mourning. Like they don't have that. It's not the same Miami Heat team. And I was a Miami Heat fan. Then I figured out I'm just a LeBron fan. But it's not the same. It's not the same, bro. And to say it is crazy. I'm not saying it's the organization.
Because they went to the finals twice in the last 5 years,
and got swept.
Yeah.
And went to the finals where 14 other teams were not able to do that. So yeah, they got swept. They never got swept in the finals. They never got swept in the finals. If it was your team, you wouldn't say that though. If it was your team going to the finals and winning, or even losing, you wouldn't say that though. When the other team gets to the finals in the bubbles, then it's just a bubble. But if I'm a Celtics fan and they go to the finals, oh yeah, we went to the finals just a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? Like that's not fair. Like that whole bubble conversation.
Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
Well, that was it.
I view the bubble as the realest championship in the last 15 years. Everybody in that one instance was on level playing ground. There was no home court advantage.
Exactly.
There was no instances where people had favors. Everybody was in the same exact situation for 3 full months.
But how many people were really locked in?
One team came out on top.
That's lot. Something that was some of the best efficiency. A lot of players were not locked in. A lot of players were not locked in.
But they were, though.
What are you talking about, bro? Some players had some of their career years in the bubble. The Damian Lillard went fucking
nuts. That's where Booker became Booker.
Devin Booker, that's where he rose to fame.
Devin Booker was Devin Booker before that bubble.
No, that is when he rose to fame.
This version.
Yeah, that's when he rose to fame. That is the year that finally there was more eyes on the Suns. Like, okay, this Booker guy is somebody that I would like to join one day.
He's a dog.
Are you guys serious right now? He dropped 70 on the Celtics the year before. I think.
Orlando, that was one of the weakest 70-point games we've ever seen in history.
They were fouling the other team,
and you know that to be a fact.
It's never been weak to score 70 points
because nobody talks about that 70 points. We talk about Donovan Mitchell more than we talk about Booker's 70 points.
Bro, the Suns were fouling the other team to ensure he got the 70.
it is an obvious consensus that was the year that Booker skyrocketed to his next platform of superstardom, or at least stardom, regardless of what you view him as. That was the year that he transcended.
Jamal Murray and the Nuggets during the bubble. I think that was the year they got the notice.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think
we can agree.
But regardless, just saying, this is what the player said. This isn't something I'm making up. A lot of the times when I hear these interviews of these players in the bubble, not everybody was locked in. I'm not saying
that's on them.
That's a majority.
That's on them.
I'm not saying that's a majority. What I'm saying is, like, in general, that wasn't like everybody was really wanting to play. Not every team wanted to be there. Teams were already trying to make their exits. But that's neither here nor there. More so, the year they won, or the year they went to the finals against the Nuggets, everybody was hurt. They faced a Giannis team that was hurt. No Giannis. Then the next one, everybody was hurt.
No, Giannis was there.
No, Giannis was hurt. No. I remember that. That's the reason they beat the Bucks.
I kept bringing it up like all the times that Giannis was hurt, and I always tell you that's the one season where Giannis played almost the entire time. He might have missed a game.
He did it.
But he played that. Yeah, I promise you he did. I'll look it up right now. Mm-hmm. I promise you he played almost an entire series. Maybe he missed one or two games, but he was at the last game. Let's see. That was 2023?
No. I don't know. 2022, I think. Oh, yeah, 2023. That was the year the Nuggets won.
He played 3 out of 5 games.
He missed 2 games, and they won one of them, and they lost the other. But those were, like, early in the series. He lost 3 back-to-back. With him playing 3 games, he's lost.
But
come on.
Yeah, he was.
What about the second round? All right.
I typically don't side with Orlando half of the things he says, but yeah, he was right. He was more hurt than he was healthy that series. Because look at the first game. He got hurt in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, but then the next 2 he comes back fully healthy. Look, he's playing 38, 40 minutes, and he's playing efficient.
You got to listen again. I hate to be the one that's finally on Orlando's side, but it was a 5-game series, and he missed the entirety of the first game. Basically, he played 10 minutes. He missed the next 2 games, and then he finally came back for the last 2. He was hurt more than he was healthy that series. Orlando is right about that. We got to give him that.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because Giannis the last 3 years has been injury prone in the playoffs. He has not played the last 5 years, playoffs. Basically. Oh damn! Listen, I didn't know that. See,
it's the same thing, bro. At the end of the day, if it's your team doing it, you don't have that mentality. So we got to give every team the same level playing field.
I'm a LeBron James fan.
If it's your favorite team going through, if it's your favorite team going up against injured teams, you're not gonna give a damn. You're like, well, we plowed through them. It's LeBron James. We were gonna plow through them anyway, right? So that would be the mentality. So that's not fair. You got to have that same mentality with the Heat too. You have to share the same idea. If the Heat played injured teams, oh well, it doesn't matter. They won. At the end of the day, I've seen injured teams win series. I've seen terrible teams win series, healthy or injured, whatever. It happens.
The Heat also had injuries. Remember, the Heat did not have Hero that entire playoff run.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Hero, one of their
main
scorers
was not the same Hero he was today that he was then.
But Hero was great.
He was their only other scorer. He was their only other scorer.
But he was great. He was one of their best ball handlers. He was one of their best shooters, and they missed that. That matters.
Regardless, it's all sidetracked at the end of the day.
Too.
We digress at the end of the day. The point is, at the end of the day, Jimmy Butler is going about it the wrong way. This is not how you handle business. You have to be patient. You have to be patient. You're asked for a trade. They're working with you to get it as best as possible. And whether that happens in the trade deadline or that happens in the off season, you're gonna have to sit there and wait for it, because they're not just gonna make a trade for the sake of you. If they have to go through a period of what do you want to call it, like rebuilding or trying to bounce back from this phase that they're going through, well, as an organization, that's just an L you're gonna have to take. But at the very least, can we get a first-round pick or 2? You know what I mean? Can we get a little bit of a young player here or there? You know what I mean? Something.
Look what they're doing with the Suns, bro. The Suns just traded one of their first-round picks to get 3 picks. That's less assets that the Suns have to give up. That's better for Jimmy when he goes to that team. Now he can go there with a young guy who's excelling, and Ryan Dunn, who might not get traded now because of that. Like if you just fight and you give things
why they made that trade? They're trying to send those picks to Miami. They want those picks to send them to Miami.
Rather send those picks than the players, because Jimmy's not gonna be there when they go to draft, and he knows that.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. I think they both kind of wrong, but
I agree. That's the most correct thing you said all night. I agree. Both sides of this party are going about this the wrong way. The suspensions are tedious. Can
we agree this looks very childish?
Yeah, it's two people going
I also
through
think the
a
Heat
bad
didn't
divorce.
do enough to put them in a winning position. The Heat did not do enough to put them in a winning position.
Yeah,
they made some terrible trades.
They're going through a bad divorce, bro. They're in the courtroom right now, just yelling at each other, calling each other all types of B's and H's.
And they're trying to figure out who's
a pretty good player, though.
Huh?
Of course.
Ware's a pretty good player, though, for Miami. He's a pretty good deep player.
He's turning into one. His issue is always his attitude, people had said. But, bro, if he can get that together, he's perfect next to Bam. But they're probably going to trade Bam, too, of course. But it would only make sense to trade both of them.
Yeah, it'll be tough, though, but that lasted longer than I expected. What about SGA, man? SGA is having the season of his life.
No words.
One of the very few moments. Shut up! I'm gonna give. Hey, if you say
best point guard.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna give you credit. I was about to give you credit, but because you said it, I'm not gonna do it anymore.
You don't have to give me credit. I'm gonna give it to myself.
That's okay.
He said, "Shut up."
Let's move past this topic, y'all. SGA is playing great. Next topic on the books. We got
Jalen Brunson was to be better than him. You know who else? Steph Curry was to be better than him.
Y'all saw Nikola Jokic, bro? He is balling right now. He is balling.
Yeah, he is number 2 in MVP voting.
I'm gonna have to side with him, Nas.
Who is he behind in MVP voting?
I tried to side with him too. If he would have just kept his mouth shut for 2 seconds, I would have been more than willing to stand on this podcast and say I was wrong. But now
I told you guys when you voted me.
I'm wrong, Tyler.
When you voted me, I'm gonna keep this vendetta going. I told you guys. And I'm going to.
Tyler, I was wrong, Tyler. I was wrong.
Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. This shit happens. Okay? What am I supposed to do?
I was not wrong ever. I've never been wrong in my life.
I can't go back in time. You were just wrong about the Giannis thing. And you don't want to admit it.
You were wrong. I don't agree. So I can't be wrong if I don't agree. He played 3 games. He played more minutes than he missed.
Say that again? Wait, what? No, I didn't. Honestly,
than he missed.
He played more minutes than he missed. I'm so confused. Say that. What are you saying?
Giannis played more minutes than he missed in that playoff series, so I was right there too.
No, that's impossible. In both those games, he played almost 40 minutes. So if he would have averaged that every game, that means he missed about 110 minutes of action.
But we have to look at his season average. His season average that season
No. We have to look at his playoff average because he played 40 minutes.
Then we average it off of the total average, and it's going to go down because he only played 10 minutes one game.
We have to look at his playoff average. So it depends what you want to do.
At the end of the day, I'm going to win.
No.
I'm going to win one way or another.
This is what I was talking about. Tyler's stubborn as hell. This is what I was talking about. Like he does not want to take the L. But it's whatever. This isn't even about Giannis. Giannis isn't even on our list today.
No, let's go back to Shea, though, for real, because I was joking.
Yeah, Shea is balling for real. I think I don't want to say this negatively, but I think he did benefit from Chet going down because I did perceive Chet getting a huge uprise in shot attempts and usage rate and stuff like that. So I think him going down and him and J-Dub kind of being the only consistent guys that are going to really go out there and look for their own bucket, where everybody else is kind of just, if it's my night, it's my night. If it's not, cool. I'm gonna just play my role, make sure we win this game. I think he benefited a little bit from that, and the team, it's looking great. I'm curious to see what they look like with a full squad. It looks like I saw Hartenstein, I think, is injured again. I didn't see him on the lineup last game they played. We got Chet. We got somebody else is injured too, I believe. I forget who, but they're looking great for the fact that
missed a few games this season. Jalen Williams has missed a few games this season. They've been in and out a lot.
The thing is about that team, that OKC team. I was looking at their roster yesterday because I'm doing parlays and stuff. I never realized, even with all the injuries they have right now, they're still a deep ass team. Like
they are.
down to their third string, they're actually not a bad player. Like Wallace, he's actually not bad. Isaiah Jones comes off the bench. He
He's
does
a
his
great
thing.
defender, bro.
He's not bad.
Jason Williams is a great defender.
Yeah, he's good. What's his name, bro? They're like the 6'6" power forward, Liggins. I think it's Liggins or Wiggins.
Aaron Wiggins. He's a
Yeah,
fucking knockout
he's
shooter.
actually smooth, bro. He's smooth. Like that team,
bro. That
right there,
team is built perfectly.
Yeah, they're like a little college team, and they can all fill in each other's positions. So like, they can switch, but it's not like the switch that the coaches have, where like, oh, switch it. No, it's a real switch. Like I can still guard the guy who I switch onto. And another thing, I mean, maybe this is on me. Shea, I did not know Shea was 6'6", and he's every bit of it. He's got a very fundamentally
tall as hell.
like sound game. And someone brought it up to my attention.
Too.
He's got like that little like, and not saying he plays like Luka. I'm saying that bump game where he can bump you, and now he has a jump shot, or he can bump you, and now you're going the other way. He's got a very
more finesse, whereas Luka's like strength.
Yeah. It's very sporadic. He can pivot very quickly. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I became a fan when I was watching, but he's kind of like a big ass Kyrie Irving. That's the best way. Just without the super god handles. I'm talking about like his post up and his mid range game. It's very Kyrie Irving-esque, and he can finish with both hands. He's legit.
A lot of Dwayne Wade.
He should win the MVP. He should definitely win the MVP.
I really think he reminds a lot of Dwayne Wade.
Man,
I generally do.
Like post-wise, right?
That finesse. He has a post game, amazing finisher. Obviously, a great
he's a good defender.
Like, yeah, he's got that mid range game that Dwayne Wade did. I mean, obviously, there's some differences. Dwayne Wade was a lot stronger, but like, there's a lot of similarities in their play style.
Shea's a way better shooter than Dwayne Wade is, though.
Shea is not as good of a shooter as people think when it comes to the perimeter. He's a mid range guy, just like Dwayne Wade.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think he shoots a mid-range at a higher clip than D-Wade did.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
I just think
about the Thunder?
Yeah.
Really quick, everything that we're talking about them, everything that's going great, the way that team is built, this season, they're going into 5 first-round draft picks. Probably 4, because Utah will probably get those back because it's 1 to 10. But they are going into 4 first-round draft picks. 4.
In all reality, I'm a little confused because it's like, what exactly do they do with them? Like, what are you like? I'm actually extremely confused. What do they do with them? Trade for what though? Like, I don't know.
Future draft
for what though?
I think you got to do like the Celtics do. Like the Celtics did. The Celtics just like traded away all those picks, got those like Drew Holiday, got those players that they can keep on a long contract that were like, Derek White off a trade. Like they trade a lot of their picks for a lot of the players that they have. Yeah, they just got to make sure they keep the right players. Like, but if you don't keep the right players, it don't matter.
But where do they need to add players like that right now? Like where? What players are lacking that need? What players are lacking that we need to upgrade?
We haven't seen them face adversity, like real adversity. We haven't seen them in a 7-game series, and it's in the 7th game, and we don't know where they're weak at. The regular season is not the playoffs. It's not the same, bro.
We saw them last season.
It's not the same. Huh?
We saw them last season against the Mavericks.
What I predict is going to happen. What I predict is going to happen is they're going to have a couple players who are going to get some attention in free agency because of the roles that they've been able to play successfully on the Thunder. And if they lose those players, then they can replace those players with those draft picks. I think that's what's going to happen. But I don't believe that they're in a position to say, we need an upgrade from this player. I think every player right now is doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And they're so young, they're only going to get better. So it's like, I don't think they want upgrades. I think it's like at this point, it's like a fail-safe. Like if we lose this guy in free agency because of how good he played with us, we're gonna have to replace him somehow. Now we got the draft picks to make that happen. Let's go find a player who's unhappy somewhere else. Here's 3 first-round draft picks, and boom, we got ourselves another replacement.
you draft the person yourself because realistically, like Aaron Wiggins, you can find someone like Aaron Wiggins in the draft. Isaiah Joe, you can find someone like that in the draft. Like you have so many possibilities. I think the league should be kind of worried about OKC.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's scary. Like I took them on 2K, just messing around because I like to do the the GM thing, GM5, the GM thing, and it's fun with them because you really could build like They have so much money. They have so much. Well, for right now, they got money, but they have so much draft stock. It's gonna be. They just got to make the right moves. We don't want this. I don't want this to be like a Philadelphia type of thing where they go get Markelle Fultz, where they go get all these players and nothing works out, and now they're having to restart in free agency. And you know what I'm saying? I really want it to work out to them like the Celtics. I think the Celtics are a great blueprint of what to do with those assets because they really made it work. And now they have 6 players they locked in, and they're competing for championships for the next 8 to 7 years with those 6 players they locked in.
So keep in mind, though, with the Celtics, Danny Ainge for like 6, 7, I think 8 years was holding on to a stash of picks and letting them go to waste. I hope that they don't do that because it took Danny Ainge getting like fired and going to Utah for them to finally trade those picks, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like
Sam Presti has not shown to be any type
Celtics.
Yeah, Sam Presti has not shown to be anything near like Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge was a dictator. Sam Presti has proven time and time again he gets the job done. Why does my camera keep zooming in and out? What the hell? Keep going, guys. My bad.
It keeps telling me whenever it's zooming in and out, too. It's like autofocus. I hope so. This team's going to be nasty. One way or another, I think within the next 5 years, they're going to win a championship. I really do believe so.
I think it's sooner than that.
That team is set up so well.
Yeah, I'd be willing to put my money. Yeah, I'd be willing to put my money that they could win a championship in the next 3 years easily.
I'm with Nas. That's my timetable right there. If they win it 2, cool, but I think they can win it in 3. I think by the time where the league's going to be at, there's no one stopping that team.
I think they have all the ability to go through a very similar path as the Celtics, where they're going to compete for a while. And it could start this year. They could make it all the way to the conference finals. They can make it all the way to the finals. Maybe next year, maybe the year after. I think it's going to be a very similar path to where they continuously become the winning team that can get far, but just doesn't have it together just yet. But I know not everybody has been a fan of this take. I am still a very firm believer that I don't believe Shea is going to be a part of this future that we see for the Thunder the entire time.
Now that's a take. That's a bold take.
He's older.
I think he wins. If, let's say they win a championship in the next 3 years, I think he can be a part of that. But if the Thunder do everything correctly and they can use this wealth that they have and these assets available to stay consistent within the next, let's say, 8 to 10 years, I don't know if Shea can be there for that entire time. I think he's just at least, 3 or 4 years older than their next best player. At least 3 years?
No, because remember, J-Dub is old. He's only 2 years older than J-Dub.
J-Dub's another one who I genuinely believe has the ability to potentially get himself somewhere else.
I agree with you guys, but I think at the end of the day, though, I think this is Chet's team. Even with them being the best players, this is going to be Chet's franchise in about 3 to 4 years if he stays healthy and consistent. That was always the consensus.
That's the issue. His health, though. That's a big issue.
Yeah. And the thing is, his counterpart, that freak in San Antonio, he looks good. And that's what we expected out of Chet. So the fact that we're not getting that right now.
No, Chet was playing just as good as Wemby when the season started.
I don't think so.
Yes, he was. Chet was playing better than Wemby when the season started. So.
Yeah, when the season we had a discussion about it.
Right and then he got in. Yeah, when he got injured, what the hell?
No, but right now, with what we have, Victor's better. We're not.
Yeah, of course, he got injured. We didn't see Chet continue to get better. That's not a fair comparison.
That's my only point, though. That right now, we hopefully Chet can be even 80% of that, they're a great team. And they don't need to keep those two players anymore.
I expect those two to duel for a little while. I expect that to be like head to head for the next 5 years. I think Chet
that's LeBron,
just like
Kobe.
how Steph did it. Yeah, but I think they'll actually play together a lot more because unfortunately, the East was kind of weird with LeBron. He wasn't able to make it out. But I think because they're both in the West, we're going to see a lot of duels between them. We're probably going to see one this year, especially if the Spurs sneak into the playoffs and OKC is the number 1 seed. Like, that's going to be our duel for the next couple of years.
I don't think the Spurs are sneaking in. The Spurs look good when I do see them play. I don't see their bad games, though, but they look good.
They're only 2 games off right now from being in the playoff, from being in the play-in.
That's dope.
Now, I think the Spurs have a longer trajectory. I don't think the Spurs have accumulated their core yet. I think they have a much longer road than the Thunder do. But I like what they're doing. I like the pieces that they're putting together, but I think they have a much longer road. I don't think the Spurs are the team that the Thunder are going to really be too concerned about.
No.
But
I agree
with you. Do you think the Thunder would be concerned about the Nuggets? Because Jokic right now, another topic I want to talk about, he's averaging a 30-point triple-double.
Let's just transition. That's a great transition.
Thunders?
Yeah, I think every single team in the world should be concerned about playing the Nuggets. It doesn't matter how the Nuggets play in the regular season. It's going to be tough to beat them in the playoffs. It doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what your defense looks like. Doesn't matter what your offense looks like. It's going to be very difficult to defeat the Nuggets in a 7-game series, regardless of what type of scheme, what type of game plan you have. I would bet my money on OKC winning, but that's only because the Nuggets have been fairly inconsistent. In the playoffs, it's a different world, so it's tough for me to really double down on that when playoffs come around.
Yeah, I just feel like
in the playoffs, Jamal's been great. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say Jamal's coming to life. I think we talked about it last pod. He's coming to life around the time that he does. But just like Tyler had a moment, I'm going to have a moment too. Houston Rockets.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. Houston Rockets. That's all I'm going to say. But regardless, though, the Nuggets are scary because it's not just that Jokic is having a good season. I think Russell Westbrook is having like a 6-man of the year. And it's just like, it looks and feels like it's their year again and that they're working together again. But I think a trade does have to happen. I don't know where or what the piece is. I think they need a lot more shooting than what they have now. And the consistency with shooting and scoring. Because at the end of the day, I think they need to pair someone else up with Jamal, who's like a offensive-minded player. I'm not going to say the name of the player who I think would fit very well there. But
let's hear it.
You hate
Go ahead,
the name.
Let's hear it, bro. Come on.
Zach LaVine. He has been playing amazing. He's been playing great basketball these last 2 weeks.
I don't think Westbrook would be eligible for
nobody hated that idea.
I think he...
Yeah, I think he started too much.
Yeah, but he would definitely, he'd be a great fit for that team. Like, an amazing fit for that team.
Of course. He's a cutting threat. He has verticality that you would have to worry about, and then also he's a shooter. He makes too much money.
Yeah, this is the only instance where adding offense wouldn't make sense. You just be trying to add offense to teams that do not need to be looking for offense. But this is one instance where it would make sense. I think defensively they can definitely pull it off. They have good defenders, and they have good defensive schemes. Only thing is, I would be kind of worried about adding Zach LaVine to somebody like Christian Braun, who has been playing his role perfectly fine. You know what I mean? And you will be
losing defense. You'd have to trade him anyway.
You'd have to trade him, and you would have to trade MPJ.
If you're trading MPJ, I don't like that trade anymore.
Yeah, if you're trading MPJ, then that's not the trade I want.
Well,
how many
I don't know if you guys saw the reports. They're shopping him around.
3-point threats are going to find?
Yeah, everybody gets reported to be shopped around, but nobody ever gets traded. So, that's not really the trade I'm looking for. I haven't
seen any sources coming for the Nuggets saying that.
Yeah, I would prefer something much better in return if we're giving up an asset like Michael Porter Jr., who has the ability to be an elite scorer on a team who's willing to give him the shot attempts.
I think I plug in Zach LaVine, that's a whole different team, and take MPJ out. I think MPJ is actually a proven scorer, and he can do it on an in and. I mean, Zach LaVine's actually a proven scorer, and he actually does it on an in and out basis, even while being the focal point of the offense. Now you throw him on a team with a player who's going to find you every single time. That's a great little combo and duo. But then again, you know, you're losing size, you're losing defense. Not that he plays any defense, but I don't know.
Michael Porter Jr. is actually a pretty good defender lately. Like that take is no longer true.
When they told his ass,
no, like I'm talking like the last 2 seasons. These last 2 seasons, he's been pretty good. I would say he's
Aaron
above
Gordon's
average.
more of the defender on the wing than MPJ is.
I agree.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think
I just think Michael Porter
Aaron Gordon on that backside. Oh, Aaron Gordon is a really good player, but I don't want to get into him being a great player. But I think you can get rid of MPJ, plug in Aaron Gordon, and then still have Zach LaVine with Jamal. That's still a pretty decent team.
Like that,
and you go get
Zach LaVine's role is not going to be what it is in Chicago. He's now becoming a third option because Jamal Murray is still the man there, especially the way they paid him.
Yeah, for sure.
Not forget that. He's now becoming a third option. So he's averaging 24 points per game right now, and MPJ is averaging 18. Zach LaVine's not going to average more than 20. So
MPJ's their third option right now.
Exactly.
The 17 shots that Zach LaVine is taking, he's not going to be taking that in Denver.
Yeah, he's not. His role is going to be different. So that's why I wouldn't give up MPJ. And I also don't think Zach LaVine is valued that highly. MPJ is a pretty good asset. I don't believe Zach LaVine is valued that highly.
This I do see. The Suns will go chase Zach LaVine if the Nuggets. I don't want to get off topic.
No, that's a terrible
if they can't get Jimmy Butler.
Trade. Oh no,
that's a terrible.
No. I just saw that though. That was an actual real thing that came from sideline sources.
They just did that with Bradley Beal. They just did the same thing.
Whoever's in charge in Phoenix just needs to get fired.
Yeah, it was from sideline sources. They said that they will target because the Bucks actually want Bradley Beal, which I don't think that makes sense.
So I'm surprised.
Me neither. I don't like that one either.
I'm surprised you don't like it.
But the Bucks
surprised.
That's the only reason the Bucks are in this whole trade thing because, I don't know if you guys have seen, it's been a three-team trade. The Bucks want Bradley, and then Miami has to settle with whatever. What's his face from the Bucks? Their shooting guard. I always forget his name.
But no, Miami wants the picks in the trade. That's all they care about is the draft stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting anything worth Jimmy back, especially when Jimmy's this disgruntled. You just got to take what you can.
Not with these rules too. These rules are really keeping a lot of teams in check, and I think I kind of like these rules.
Which is
I don't
good.
think the players do
Which
this.
is good. I'm sick and tired of these teams thinking that they can just bail themselves out or ruin people's careers. You know how many players' careers get ruined just because of a little trade?
A lot.
You committed to something, man. See it through. Make the moves to make it work. That's why I appreciate, organizations that take the time out to really understand what can we do to make this work. And that's why I respect organizations like Miami, organizations like San Antonio. It's we're not always going to have the resources available to us, but we know what a winner looks like. All we have to do is find that winner, and that's what they need. And Miami is over here scouting players since the moment you're born. You know what I mean? You have if your dad's 6'10", I'm gonna go scout you in the living room. I'm trying to figure out how tall you are as a newborn baby. You know what I mean? And if you look like you might be a basketball player one day, I'm following your whole life.
Your arms look a little long. You're getting drafted.
No, real quick.
Putting you in my basement like the Atlanta Hawks did for Giannis. Go ahead.
No, yeah, you're right though, Nas, because if you look at when basketball was at its all-time highest, it wasn't because the big teams were doing very, very good. Yeah, they were doing good, but it's these small market teams that were able to compete, put out products that were actually enjoyable. We have players that we know household name from these small teams that we like. So it's just it hasn't been the same since Kevin Durant left and went to Golden State. we can all agree basketball has not been the same. It wasn't fun. I stopped watching basketball because I already knew for those 4 years that Kevin Durant, or 3 years, whatever, he was with the 2 years that he was with the Golden State, I knew they were going to win. Everybody in the league knew
It was
they were
be
going
Golden
to win.
State versus the Cavs every single year, no matter what happened.
Yeah, and that was horrible to watch. That was horrible. That was disgusting.
That's why I like it now.
Well, it was some.
I don't know.
As a LeBron James fan,
finals.
As a LeBron James fan, I enjoyed LeBron in June, but as an NBA fan, and when I take a step back, it's not good basketball. The product hasn't been good for the last 3 years when it comes to season, when it comes to storylines, when it comes to the San Antonio Spurs being good, OKC being good, or those small teams that always had a niche to like have a storyline. And it's not the same. And I agree with Nas. Like, they're not building this from the ground up. They're just kind of microwave this shit, find some players, put them together, make it work. Next season, it doesn't work. We're gonna blow this up and try it again. It's just not cool. Like,
Bro,
I could go play GM if I want to do that.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why I don't think that they should trade for Zach LaVine. That's exactly why. Because of that exact reason.
Bro, I said it on a podcast before. Teams do not use historical data to make decisions. They just try to push the envelope. They try to do something new and be the new trending topic. It's like, look at the last 20 champions in NBA, right? From 2024 all the way to 2004. How many of those champions were bought teams? There's a couple in there. There's a couple.
The Cavs,
but
might
not
be
that
the
many.
One. The Cavs might
I would
be
say
the
it's
only
actually
one in
more
Miami.
than.
Nah, I don't think so.
The Bucks were a bought team.
The who?
Golden State.
The Bucks were a bought team.
Nah, I don't consider that a bot team because they're not bringing in. When I say a bot team, is like a super team. Like, we're just bringing in the best players we could possibly find and just trying to push them out there. There's not that many of them. Like, the Bucks didn't do that. The Bucks put guys in role player situations. Like, Drew Holiday, we need you to play a role here. Brook Lopez, we need you to play a role here. We need you to buy in. I don't consider the Bucks a bot team in my opinion. And the rest of that core.
Mm-hmm. To double down on Nas, though, it was Greek was drafted there. Their shooting guard, I always forget his damn name. The shooting guard that they have is because he's barely been playing.
Detroit.
Yeah, but they drafted him after his rookie year, so it's damn near like he was drafted there. So it's just like
he got traded there because he had that hamstring injury. That shit was off the bone.
Who?
Yeah. So, but regardless, I don't consider the Bucks as like a built team. I mean, a bot team. I think Miami's a bot team. I think Golden State's a bot team. Even though a lot of their pieces are homegrown.
I don't think Golden State deserves to be considered a bot team because they only bought one piece and they built everything else from the ground up. And they saw an opportunity
and they won without him.
Yeah, and they won without him. So I wouldn't consider them a bot team because they built everything else from the ground up. And they took great players and put them into roles like Andre Iguodala, David Lee. I want to say Leandro Barbosa. I don't know if he fits.
Miami Heat would be the only team, then.
Huh? There's a couple. I would consider the Celtics a bot team. I would consider the Big Three Celtics definitely. I would consider.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
but they actually made that work the first season. They made that shit work right off the bat.
Yeah, that's rare. So shout out to them for sure. But
for sure.
I said there's a couple. There's definitely a couple in there. But we're talking about 20 years. You know what I mean? We could go back 30 years. We could go back 40 years. Teams that are just spending money to succeed, they rarely do that. They rarely do. Look at all these bot teams. And sometimes it's not basketball related. For example, the Brooklyn Nets, they had a lot of issues that weren't basketball related. But that's karma for you. You want to spend all your money on just bringing all these guys in and just we're just going to win off of talent. That's karma for you. That the basketball guys are going to intervene. Like, it's not that easy. Sorry.
For
Boom.
Sure.
Kyrie issues. Boom. Harden issues. Now you gotta move away from it. And of course that's just me being superstitious, but it's I mean, hey, the facts are there.
Shit, Philadelphia.
Who? Philadelphia. Yeah, you wanna just pay Paul George?
They try to buy too much and look at them.
Look at them now. Exactly. It's hard to build teams from the ground up. I will say that. You know, I'm not saying it's easy for these GMs to do that and to draft well and to make sure these guys are ready and to be winners. I get that part. You know what I mean? It's enticing to try to take the easy way out. I get it fully. So, you know, I'm not knocking the GMs, but sometimes try to use historical facts, man, and maybe try to build something from the ground up. And it may take some time. It may be frustrating for about 5, 6, 7, 8 years, but you're gonna hit the goal line eventually. You know what I mean?
But
it's ultimately more rewarding too.
It is. But you need the right owner for that. Like, it's got to be. I mean, it starts from the owners to like the GM. You got to have a vision, and like Sam Presti's aren't around on every team because then every team would be good. Like, the teams that are good have good ownership, and I believe that. Like, I hate to say this take out loud, but I don't think Jenny Buss is a good owner anymore. I think the Lakers don't have that.
I don't think she's ever been a good owner. I don't think she's ever been a good owner.
The Buss families weren't bad owners. They weren't bad owners, but she's not good. She's not living up to that legacy. Like
that's what I'm saying. She's never been.
Yeah, I mean, her dad terrorist to me is the Kings owner. I think he is.
Oh,
he needs to be
not
never allowed to own anything again.
Yeah, he's not doing so well over there in Sacramento. They're doing better now, though. So, people told me that firing Mike Brown wasn't the reason, or people told me Mike Brown wasn't the reason why they were losing. I did tell people
that they're winning now.
Maybe we should reconsider that he could possibly be. You know what I mean? There was no reason to me why they should be losing that much. I generally believe that.
I think Doug Christie, they like Doug Christie, though. Like, they'll play for him. They want him to be there. Like, they say it. Like, he's a player's coach. He was a player. So
I also think it's a little too early to say that a big change has been made. This is a new coach, new coaching style. Other teams need time to adjust. I was one of the people that said I don't think that they should have fired Mike, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I'm not saying they're about to go compete for a championship. I'm just saying they should not have lost that many games, and then somebody had to be blamed. I get that.
Gotta be the head coach.
They should have at least had a winning record. They should have at least, and in my opinion, they could have at least been 4 games over 500. At least, you know what I mean? Like, with the record that
at least competing for like a 5th or 6th seed.
Yeah, like yeah, sure, maybe. But my point is, they should have at least been winning more games. You know what I mean? I'm not saying all that, but they should have at least been winning more games. They shouldn't have been that bad. And I don't know what it was that Mike Brown was doing. I don't know at all. But whatever it was not working. And this new guy, it is working. So, just saying. I think I might have been right.
Well, I mean, players tend to, the NBA is a brotherhood. NBA is a brotherhood, so, like, players tend to play more harder for a player coach. It even happens in the NFL, where, like, when a coach gets hired who's a player, players tend to, like, run through walls. So, I mean, like Tyler, like you said, like Nas and Tyler has said, like, we need to kind of keep into the fact that this is, like, a small sample size. So when teams start developing tendencies that they have, when they start seeing things, that's when we'll see if this is really a good fit or not, which usually tends to happen within the 20-game mark. So we'll see where they're at towards, like, after the 10 games after the All-Star game. That's when I'm going to start judging them 100%.
This Kings team is not built to compete for championships. This is my opinion.
I don't think that either.
So I don't think it's just a matter of time before somebody in the front office finally realizes it and says, "All right, guys, let's just pull the plug. Let's get Fox somewhere else. It's not working. Let's start over." And I
feel bad for
Sabonis is a great player. Fox is a great player. DeRozan is a great player. So many guys over there are great players. It's just there's no identity. What do we know the Kings for? What do they do that's so great?
De'Aaron Fox.
When they were coming on, they were known as a good offensive team.
So that's what De'Aaron Fox does. So that's what the Kings do. The Kings run Fox fast from one baseline to the other baseline.
They like the beam.
They like the beam.
Run quick.
Those
are
the
beam, and that's all I know about them.
So when you go to their paperwork and you go look at their business overview. Bullet point number 1, Fox runs really fast.
We move fast.
Bullet point number 2,
skills.
We light the beam.
Run quick.
Fox runs.
Show me your resume.
Fast run.
I go fast, and I like light.
But
that's hilarious.
Picture Sonic.
Oh god! But either way, somebody's gonna realize it over there eventually. Hopefully, and Fox can go somewhere where he can.
Do you really think that they're going to?
No.
Remember, they didn't notice it with Boogie for the longest time. They didn't notice it with Chris. They never notice it. The Kings are a poverty franchise. They are.
I'll say I cross my fingers and hope that they do.
Bro, yeah, I will say this, the Bulls though. Are too. I think the Bulls. I'll go ahead.
And I was gonna say, like, I don't think that they don't know that these players aren't supposed to be there. I don't think they have anything else to sell to the fans, to sell to games. So when your main player's Boogie, and you know he's not gonna help you win the championship, but you still need to put butts in those seats. You can't just give up Boogie for 2 first-round picks. You need to put. I think putting butts in the seats is way more important.
No, I actually agree with that. I do think sometimes teams are put in a situation where it's like we have a kid together, but our marriage is toxic. But for the sake of the kid, we gotta just stay together. You know what I mean? That's that. I feel like that's the situation some owners are in. It's like, listen, Fox, like, we get it. You don't like us, and frankly, we don't like you. But we got fans, and we gotta sell tickets. So for right now, just keep running fast. When we win, go light that beam and then go home to your family and enjoy it.
We are never getting a pair of Fox's shoes ever. He's never.
Do we need to get a second beam? Ever. Is that it? Do we need to get a second one? Let's light 2 beams from now on.
Let's put them across court.
We're gonna get a rocket ship. We're gonna get a rocket ship and send one G League player up in space every time we win.
Shoot a cannon every time we win a game now. One of those old school cannons from like the pirate days.
You know, Buccaneers have that, right? The Buccaneers do that.
Oh, really? Oh, snap! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the Sixers. I actually did want to talk about them. Oh, it's very disappointing, man. It's very disappointing. I would have never thought. Tyler said it to me earlier. A team that was contending for a championship, I would never imagine they'd be so bad. You know what I mean? And injuries is definitely a factor.
You have to try to be this bad.
Yeah, you definitely do. There's a point
where, like, I think you kind of doing something here.
Yeah, I think they should be investigated. They should be investigated. Like that one guy, the MPJ's brother. They should be investigated because, like, low-key, I think they're betting on themselves.
I mean, I knew their season was over when they were playing Paul George at center. I was like, oh, they're just trying.
I know their season was over when they signed Paul George.
No,
they just trying shit. You know what, Paul?
I did. I said that too. I did say that.
It was supposed to work. It was supposed to work on paper.
I said that it was not going to work multiple times.
I'm going to have to go look at the film.
Go back and read that.
I'm going to have to go look at the film. But
you know what's crazy? Is this Tyrese and Paul have been playing. That's what makes it, like, even worse. It's not like...
Has Paul George been playing? Has he?
Yeah, he has.
Is that what you call...
He knows he's been
Is that what you call playing basketball? I don't know.
Paul George is suited up, but he's never played basketball this season.
Yeah, he's worn the jersey. He's laced up the shoes. But I think he's running track and field out there. What is that? He's
doing something.
What is that sport called where you throw the thing, the long stick? Is it
baseball?
Distance? Huh? Fistball? Is that what you just said?
Baseball?
Discus.
No, not baseball, man. Discus? Is that what it is?
Will you throw it like this?
You're talking about javelin or whatever.
That's pretty much what he's doing. He's just chucking it up, trying to see how far he can get it. That's all it is. I wonder if I can get it over the backboard this time. That's his shot every time. Has he been
podcasting?
I don't watch his podcast too much.
He's put more effort into the podcast than playing basketball.
I actually have a question.
Paul George is... Yeah.
This isn't a topic on the list, though, but now that we mention it, how do you guys feel about players podcasting during the season?
I got bored
of it. I just don't find
enjoyment out of it anymore.
Say that again?
Yeah. I don't enjoy the Paul George one.
I don't enjoy it anymore.
No, just in general. Not Paul George, just players in general who are in the league currently.
Man. I don't like the Draymond Green one. I think that one's weird. I don't think any of those guys...
But I'm not saying do you like the podcast. I'm saying, like, in general,
like the idea of them podcasting while they're playing.
Yeah, while they're playing a season and trying to compete for something.
So it's a double-edged sword. If you're winning and you're doing it, go ahead. It must work. But if you're losing and you're doing it, wrap it up. Wrap it up. It's just weird. It's weird. It's like a weird dynamic for me.
I
want to hear. No.
Say that again?
Yeah, I want to hear why you're winning. I want to hear that, like, live. You don't. It's not enough for you to sit down and answer 17 questions at a press conference. I want to hear from one of the best players on the team tell me, "Oh, this happened, and this is why we're winning." Like I enjoy that kind of storytelling. But when you're losing, no one wants to hear that. Like the beam or some shit. Like no one wants to hear that. Like for real.
I think it's
So
terrible.
it's a double edge.
Personally, I do not like it at all. I'm a big believer in building good habits, and I don't know. I don't know if I like the fact that they have this distraction on them. You know what I mean? Because the podcast is more than them just going on there and talking. Like there's a lot of
Because we
work
know.
that
We
gets
know.
put in to do behind the scenes stuff and push your podcast and make it successful. All that stuff. It's like you're an NBA
The
player.
job.
You know what I mean? Like
But
is that not the job you're trying to succeed at? Like all the effort you're putting in right now.
broke it down as well as a few people. They're not the ones that are going out and pushing it. They hire an agency to do that.
Yeah, but they still have to be involved. You know what I mean? Like they got to go to meetings. They got to
They
get phone
literally are the
calls. They got
content.
to
They
be
are the
involved.
content.
But I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it's that bad because you think about it. How often are they traveling? They're playing 3-4 times a week. Like some of these things are like an hour a day that we're talking about. Like this meeting is like an hour.
I just feel like
This
players
podcast that we're
seem
filming, maybe 2
unfocused.
hours.
I just feel like players seem unfocused to me. Don't you feel like a lot of these players, if you think about it, not every one of them, but don't you feel like a lot of these players started podcasting and like some of them, they're not the same player they used to be? You know what I mean? And that's not a coincidence. Like you look at Paul George, he's not the same player he used to be. Draymond Green's not the same player he used to be. I don't know, man.
Draymond is. Draymond is.
Yeah, he's not the
Paul
same player
George,
he used
though.
to be.
Who's older, Draymond or Paul?
So wait, are we talking about 2016 Draymond, or are we talking about the season before he started podcasting to now? Because like if you're talking about like peak Draymond, that's different. He's like 35 now.
Like
Damn,
before he
Draymond's
started
old as shit.
podcasting. Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. If
I
he's
don't know when he
35,
started
35,
podcasting, but I don't know, man.
like he
Players
started
just
like
seem
2 years ago.
unfocused to me.
He's having one of the best years of his career these last 2 years. Actually, no, he literally is having the best 2 years of his career lately.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't think Draymond's the problem.
I
I
feel like
think
we take
Paul
it away
George
from
is the
him.
problem. No, I don't think
And I think with Paul
Draymond.
George, it's an
Draymond's
accountability
podcast.
thing.
Yeah. I think Paul. I don't even think it has to do with the podcast. I just don't think Paul George ever really wanted to be in Philly. I just think they're the only ones who really cut the check. I, I think if any
I
team
can
would
see
have cut
that
that check,
too.
he would have
Yeah.
signed for them.
No, I think
It looks better because they're a contender. But I think anybody who would have cut that check, he would have just went there.
I think
I agree with that.
No, I think Philly is a good team to go to. I think so personally. I mean, Maxey, young up and coming star, and Embiid is very well respected in the league. Everybody thinks he's amazing.
He doesn't play.
Yeah, but that's not the mentality that players have. A lot of players.
But do you think that Paul George wanted to go there?
Yeah, I think he wanted to.
Remember, the reason I say that, Paul George had come out before and he had said that he didn't want to be the guy. He didn't want to be the one guarding the other team's best perimeter player. He didn't want to be the one going out scoring every single night. And then he goes to a team where he knows that Joel is notoriously injured, so he had to do that.
He just wanted a podcast.
He wanted to be
go over there to podcast.
He wanted to be Batman finally, but you can't be Batman with an injured player. You have to be fucking.
What did Paul George want to do?
You can't be Robin. He had to step up, and he didn't want to do that.
I know what he wanted to do. I know what he wanted to do in Philly. He wanted to play center. That's what it was. He was he was ready to play center.
I don't think he wanted to do that.
Like, I'm just saying, like, if you don't want to guard the best player,
do we
if you
know
want to
he
be the
didn't
main
want
focal
to?
on offense, they should have never paid you that much money if you didn't want to do any of that. Like, that's like me going into a meeting and I sell cars, but I don't. I'm telling the person, but I sell cars, but I don't want to sell any cars right now. Even though you want to buy a car, I'm not selling you a car. That's weird. Like, I would never sign a player like that. I don't care how good you may seem or how great you are. If you're coming into a meeting telling me what you don't want to do at the job I'm hiring you for, we're gonna have some problems, but we're definitely gonna have some problems. That's a weird relationship they have.
Yeah, I think he has an issue with taking accountability too. Like every team that he's been on falls short, and a lot of the times it's because of him. A lot of the time.
Or injury of his. Yeah, it's because his injuries.
Which is a part of
all
it.
the time.
Like that, at some point, there's like those catastrophic injuries that he gets. But sometimes it's like you're not taking as good care of your body as you probably could. You're doing things consistently. You're rushing back. Like, you should probably take a step back and maybe change your game a little bit. Maybe you don't need to be as much of a finesse player anymore. Because obviously it's tearing down your body.
Yeah.
Change up something.
Yeah.
I hate Paul George.
I'm not going to lie. My favorite Paul George, I don't hate him. I think my favorite Paul George is the OKC Paul George. I think he was like the first time actually he did a really good job doing Robin. But
look at you saying something that makes sense. Nothing. Go ahead.
You know what? You've been agreeing with me. It's like 3 times you've been agreeing with me on this pod, Nas. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear none of that blasphemy.
But you agree with the wrong thing. Because Paul George was not Robin on OKC. There's no way.
No, I didn't say that.
Absolutely
so who was
not.
it?
He was definitely Batman.
Russell Westbrook at the time was better than Paul George.
No, not that season. Not that season. Not that
We're
specific.
talking about 2018-19.
The one season where Paul George went crazy at OKC, he was the best player on that team. 100%. He turned into what Kevin Durant was for Westbrook before Paul George got there. The season before and probably even the season after, was Paul George still there or did he get traded after that MVP season?
I think he played 2 years with them.
He got traded in the offseason.
Yeah, so the season before and season after, of course. But that season that Paul George had an MVP caliber year, he was top 3 in MVP. He was top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year that season.
Yep.
Yeah. His best days were OKC.
Yeah,
I argue that every day. People think I'm crazy about that, but that team was really good. I mean, not really good. They were just a decent team with a lot of explosive players.
I'd say his best season was in OKC, but his best overall...
His best days were definitely Indiana.
Yeah, his best days were Indiana, but his best one season was in OKC. His best season of his career was OKC.
My favorite version of Paul George is OKC. Just say that's just me.
Only that one year. That's what we're saying. It's only that 1 year.
I can't say his best days because he only spent 6 minutes in OKC.
Because that first year in OKC, he was not doing the best. Not doing the best at all.
Nah. It took a little. It takes time to play with a player like Russell Westbrook. Like you got to actually commit to learning his play style.
His first year in OKC, he played great. He just didn't get the shot attempt. He shot better the first season. It just that I think that time
because that first year Carmelo
Westbrook
was with them.
Still Batman.
Yeah, but it was
second year too.
Yeah,
but that first year
was still him.
It was a much slower start. He only averaged 22 points per game. It was a much slower start. That's all I'm saying.
That first year with OKC that he was there, that was the last year that was the first year that I think, or the second year that Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double. I'm pretty sure that was the second year because I remember that.
Most likely, because the year before
he was definitely Robin though.
Is when he gets MVP.
He wasn't. Not that season.
He was definitely Robin though.
He was not.
The first season he gets there, yeah, but that's it. After the first season, there's no way you could say that.
Yeah, the second season, Paul George was the Batman of that team for sure. He was the go-to guy. He was the here, do everything. I'm just gonna do my Westbrook dirty work. And so I'm sure he averaged.
And even then, shot attempts aren't even that far off.
Yeah, exactly. Westbrook just can't hit shots, so his points per game were probably much lower. But either way, speaking of MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, we're getting a little past an hour here, but I do want to wrap it up with some award race talk. Tyler had suggested it earlier. Is that something you guys wanted to do for this episode? We never really answered in the chat.
I did not want to do it. I should have vocalized myself in the chat. I am not ready for that conversation. I'll be 100% honest.
Oh, well, you're getting outvoted. So, MVP,
well, here, why don't we do this? Wait 1 second. I have a better idea. We'll talk about the MVP races, and then we will come up next week with our own MVP, our own Defensive Player of the Year, our own etc. That's fair?
Well, okay. I have Sixth Man of the Year up right now. The odds, if we want to start with that and work our way up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Excuse me. Let's see. Let's just go with top 3. Because after 3, these names seem very unlikely. They got Amen Thompson, DeAndre Hunter, and Peyton Pritchard as the top 3
odds
for
Hunter,
Sixth Man of the Year. My vote is Hunter.
Has DeAndre Hunter not started more games now?
No, DeAndre Hunter has not started almost any games.
He started 2.
Even when someone's hurt, he still comes off the bench. Even when someone's hurt, it's the only way he can get his shot attempts where it doesn't hurt the team. So it makes sense. That second unit is his unit.
He's nasty.
He's really embraced it.
I've always liked
I love it.
Which is weird because he doesn't. He don't have a lot of scores.
I was watching a game. Yeah, I was watching a game. He comes off the bench literally 20 seconds into being in the court. I'm like, this is really what he does. He just comes in and drops buckets. Like that's all he does.
Bro, he's also a very, very, very good defender. A very good defender.
Yeah,
great defender.
Above average
People
defender.
don't talk about that either.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I would probably go with Hunter. Who is the other one?
Peyton Pritchard and Amen Thompson.
Oh man, Amen Thompson. So they got the Terror twins over there with him and Tari Eason, bro. That team is scary defensively.
Amen Thompson. Thompson's playing great, but I don't think he's doing enough to go over Hunter or Pritchard right now.
Hunter great. And I think their defense.
They don't look at defense whenever it comes to this. No, their defense is absolutely far off. I promise you, Amen Thompson, the Thompson twins are going to go down in the next 5 years as one of the best defenders in the league.
The best twins ever. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I was just having that conversation with someone.
Not twins, but I'm talking about like individual. Their defense are killing it, bro. They are terrifying. They are so athletic. They have so much length and so much knowledge defensively. It is scary, bro.
I was just about to say, man, that draft class is stupid. That draft class there is stupid. But them in general, though, they are very like that. Those two brothers, they're very athletic, and it's crazy because one of them's really good at offense, and the other one's like really, really good at defense. You can tell that they were sharpening each other up growing up. Like,
I don't think
which one is good at offense?
I don't think
the one in Houston's better offense than the one in Detroit.
Better, but that's
the one in Houston's a better offensive player than the one in Detroit, for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of situational. Yeah, it's kind of situational. It's not. I don't think either of them.
But neither of them
that much better offensively. It only fit. Yeah, it really is just situational. Asar Thompson.
I was saying neither of them can shoot at all. Like none of them can shoot, and then they both
I'm pretty sure the one in Houston can pass though. The one in Houston.
Both of them can. Asar can too. Asar and Amen can too.
It's crazy because they're both like the backbones of their teams. Like when it comes to being athletic, when it comes to doing all that dirty work, they're both the backbones for their teams.
Asar is not in the same situation though. I think we're overplaying a little bit. Asar is not in the same situation. He's not really getting much.
Not yet.
He's not getting much burn for the Pistons at all.
It's because Detroit has too many wings to play him. They have way too many wings.
Yeah, they got to deplete those wings. But once Tobias Harris is out of there,
the injury with Jaden
whatever they're doing, they just got to keep improving it because it's working right now.
Yeah.
Listen,
Detroit's actually playing good too. But
before we move on to the next award, one award that I genuinely believe needs to be added is Most Improved Franchise because Detroit deserves that. Detroit broke the record for most consecutive losses last year. And this year, they are 2 games over 500 before the All-Star break. That right there is phenomenal work. Coach, hats off to you, bro. Shout out to you. Hats off to you. But it goes to show you what a little consistency can do for a team, bro. And that's why you go for veterans. That's why you go for defenders, which they didn't really, but they did go for veterans.
No, they did. They went for veterans, and they went for some from niche players, which they did really good at. Tim Hardaway.
Not defensive, but Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik I almost call him Michael Beasley. Malik Beasley. Great additions.
He's having a good year, too.
Yeah, he's having a great year. He was on the list for 6th Man of the Year. But yeah, phenomenal veterans to add. Guys were just going to go there, just do the work that's supposed to be done and not complain. Or at least I think they're not complaining. Who knows? Maybe they are. But
they have vets now. They have vets. They don't look young this year. It doesn't look like a young team anymore.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. I don't know what it's going to look like when the season's all over, but shout out to them for what they're doing right now. But that bleeds into Most Improved. I'm pulling these up for different websites because they don't have the same award for each of them. But
yeah, I noticed that. I'm trying to do that too.
Some candidates here that I see as potential: Cade Cunningham, Norman Powell, Tyler Hero, Evan Mobley, and Jalen Johnson. Honestly, the list keeps going. These are great players. You got Dyson Daniels, Austin Reeves. These are all great choices here.
I think Norman Powell's the only one
Franz
who really deserves it.
Oh, that's a good pick.
That's actually
Norman Powell.
Good. Yeah,
Norman Powell actually reminds me of a bet that you and I had, Pluto. Do you remember what that bet was?
Yep. No, I don't. Don't recall.
Can you remind the audience?
Franz Wagner has been injured, so that's probably why he's not on the list. But yeah, he's definitely a good
He would have
candidate.
been, I think so.
No, that's actually a really good pick, Tyler. For real.
If I had to vote, I'd go Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
I think Cade Cunningham could be all NBA.
Cade improved a lot?
I think Cade Cunningham could be all NBA third team this year. I really do.
But did Cade really improve a whole lot, though? Because he had a great season.
He's going to be all-star this year, Tyler.
22.
No,
yeah, I mean,
if you...
He's just overall
compared to the other
great.
people.
Huh?
I don't think he really improved compared to the other people, though.
I mean, I would say he did, but my thing with him is he improved in multiple categories.
Yeah, no, not even that. He's moving up in the NBA in general. Like, he is now an all-star player. I think he's going to be an all-star. I think he deserves it for sure. I think it's Cade Cunningham. Now that I have this discussion with you guys, at first I was going Powell because he's averaging 25 right now, I think, or something close to that. But when I think about it, Cade is now going to become more of an upper echelon player. So I got it.
Yeah, Powell's a good Cade, Powell's a good choice.
Party.
Powell's a great choice too. He's doing phenomenal as well.
Because look at Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero averaging the same amount of field goals last year. He's averaging more threes. He's averaging 24 points a game, more assists with the same amount of turnovers. Like he's getting the same amount of touches, but he's improved everywhere. To where I think it would be him. Like he's shooting 40% from three on 10 threes a game. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists for Tyler Hero. Yeah, pretty much 3.9. Rounded up, 4. His 2 points, 56%. Like
I mean, Cade Cunningham.
I don't think it would be fair to give it to anyone else.
I think Cade Cunningham fits the same script that you're just saying. You're looking at somebody who's
he has more shot attempts. He has more
one
turnovers.
extra. He has one extra shot attempt. That's fine. That's not a huge difference maker for me. At the end of the day,
his percentages that haven't really changed that much.
He's averaging a higher field goal percentage. He's averaging a higher 3-point percentage. He's averaging more rebounds per game, more assists per game, and more points per game. He's improved in every category.
And more turnovers per game. Keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, usage rate went up.
So, that's what I'm saying. His usage rate changed.
I actually wouldn't put Hero on my list at all because he literally just won 6th Man of the Year a couple of years ago. Like, how do you go from a 6th Man of the Year to most improved? Like, clearly you were already good.
That's how that works. That makes sense.
No, I don't think that makes sense at all.
So you go from a bench role to now you're a starter. That's improvement.
But that's situational. That's not because he got better. It's just because his situation's better for him to start.
Who's next up anyways? He's about to be next up.
What do you mean next up?
My pick is Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero had the same opportunity and he just improved everywhere. Whereas Cade Cunningham got new opportunities. He got more shot attempts. He has the ball in his hand more often. He has more minutes.
He got an extra shot attempt. Stop using plural like he was taking 5 more shots per game.
Tyler Hero got no shot attempt difference. He's at 17.5 still. The same exact. Like there's no
my realistic pick would be Norman Powell, regardless. If I had to actually put money on it. But my preference is Cade Cunningham.
I'm going Tyler Hero. I'm sticking with that. But I will say that Norman Powell did improve a lot. Absolutely. There's no denying that.
What about...
His percentages are better.
Defensive Player of the Year. Let's see what we got here. I'm
going Victor
Wembananas.
We got some candidates here. Victor Wembananas is the odds-on favorite.
Victor Banana Bread. Oh, Wait, really quick.
I like
Did you see
that
online?
one.
Someone called Victor Wembanyama Hector Banana Bread.
What the hell? We also got Evan Mobley, Jaren Jackson, Lou Dort, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, apparently.
Are we
Rudy
going to have an
Gobert
argument,
too is
or
tied
are
with
we going to
Shea.
be consistent?
Uh,
I'm taking Victor.
Well, let's argue for who should be second.
My vote would be Victor, yes. The second best option, definitely Evan Mobley.
Definitely
I'm going
Evan
Jaren
Mobley for me
Jackson
too.
Jr.
He guards for the 1 through 5. Evan Mobley's
So
nasty,
does Jaren
bro.
Jackson
I
Jr.
watched the Cavs game a couple days ago. That man really guards the 1 through the 5. Like, it's crazy. I watched a point guard pass the ball to another player when he had a big man on him. I don't see that a lot. Like, Evan Mobley's
That's what
giving
Jaren
AD
Jackson
vibes
Jr.
on
does, though.
steroids.
You'll see it when AD is
100%.
guarding a point guard, that's for damn sure.
They're all like that's a class of their own. When your big man can pick up the point guard, that makes your team way better. Like way better defensively. Got to go Evan Mobley. I mean, I'm surprised we're not talking about AD right now.
Well, he kind of fell off. Statistically, they're almost the same defender. Like, literally, it's crazy how, like, similar their stats are everywhere. Between Jaren Jackson Jr. and Evan Mobley.
At the end of the day, it's
so maybe
Victor
they are
and bananas anyway. So if they want to fight for second place, go ahead. I think they should have a perimeter defender of the year and interior defender of the year. I agree. That's what I really think.
I also think for MVP, we should probably look at that too.
I think we should have. Think so. I think for MVP, there should be a most valuable player and most outstanding player.
And outstanding is based off the stats, right?
Yeah, where the outstanding player doesn't
MVP
have to take.
I'm not.
Doesn't have to take consideration like winning and that kind of stuff. Like it's just your individual performance as a player.
I got
you average a 30-point triple-double, but you won 6 games.
Well,
no, I mean, I think, yeah, hell no. But I just don't think you mess with MVP stuff. I can see you guys messing with the defensive player of the year. You know, I can see that. I can see a guard and
you're not messing with anything. The MVP still exists.
I can see that. No, but it's not the same MVP when you're splitting it in half.
I'm not
most of the time, the MVP usually goes to the best player on the best team.
Yeah,
most of the time.
That's what he's saying. He's saying it
will continue to do that. Nothing will change.
Yeah, he's thinking of a new award.
You said most outstanding, and then what'd you say? Most valuable? That's damn near the same shit.
No, most valuable is the MVP. That already exists. What are you saying?
So think of it this year.
I don't want a most outstanding.
If Shea
award.
wins the MVP, so think of it this year. Shea wins MVP. He's on the best team. He's having the best performance. But Jokic is averaging a 30-point triple-double. He would get most outstanding because he's playing ridiculously well. Like, he's doing something we haven't seen before from the big. But Shea still got the MVP because he deserved it.
Yeah, I think that's how it should be done.
Sounds like a set. Yeah, I don't like that. I can see the defensive player of the year thing because that's true. There are some guards that get looked over that are very good defenders. Tony Allen should have got himself a couple. There's a couple people that I could see that argument. I could see that 100%. But when you're splitting up outstanding with most valuable, damn near like you're just saying these two guys are the best 2 players in the NBA. Like that takes away from what that is. The best player is the MVP. There is no most outstanding, even if your stats were better. Like my team won, and I'm doing great. Like I just feel like that's bragging rights.
But that's my thing. Russell Westbrook won MVP because he had a triple-double. His team was nowhere near the best.
He should not have been there. Yeah, he was the 6th seed that year.
That's why most outstanding
was the most valuable player because the only time they won games is when he had a triple-double.
Harden was the most valuable player.
Anytime they won games is when he was going crazy. So that's my point. That's why most outstanding would reward players for going out there and putting out historical numbers, regardless of how their team is doing. Maybe my team's not the best right now, but I'm going out there and playing my ass off. And that's why
the Mop Award is crazy.
There's always a player. There's always a player like that every year. There's always a player whose team isn't the best, but they put up a performance that was phenomenal. But they're not going to get anything except some.
And that's what gives the barbershops those talks. That's what gives the barbershops those talks. We're like, damn, Jokic did this year, but this guy was averaging this year. Like that's what gives us the fans a conversation.
The talks will still exist. People are still going to say Jokic deserves MVP. I still think he does. Shit.
He's going to get the Mop Award. That's crazy. Most outstanding player.
But speaking of that, we have the odds for most valuable player. We got. Let's start at 5. Let's do 5. We got. Is that 5 or 4? Yeah, 5. Victor Wembanyama is actually 5th place here, with 100-1 odds, whatever that is.
We can't hear you, Tyler.
Is he talking?
Yeah.
He left.
He'll come right back.
Did you hear me say Hector Banana Bread a few times?
Oh, no, not at all.
No.
Every time you said Victor Wembanyama, I kept saying Hector Banana Bread.
Well, surprisingly, he's number 5 on this list. Jason Tatum, number 4. Giannis Antetokounmpo at 3. Nikola Jokic is second most odds, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has the best odds to win MVP this year by a solid landslide.
The 4th best point guard in the league being most likely to win MVP is crazy.
My vote is Nikola Jokic, personally.
God.
What is you guys' vote?
I'm voting Shai. He picked it up when Chet went down, and he's his level of dominance from a guard is crazy.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to give it a Shai. I watched this man play power forward for like a whole quarter, so and then become the point guard the next quarter. Like I'm going Shai. I respect everything that Nikolai's doing. Nikolai's getting into that realm like LeBron and Michael Jordan. Like, yeah, I know you're doing great, but let's give this award to somebody else now. All right.
That's what they said last year. That's what they said last year. Still gave it to him.
Right.
Again.
He could still win it, though.
Of course he could.
The Nuggets are 4 seed.
Yeah.
30 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists.
Those aren't like baby stats at all.
Talk about his 3-point shooting. Say that, too. Don't leave that out.
I don't even know what his 3-point shooting is. He's not leading the league anymore, though. I'll tell you that much.
No, but I'll tell you right now because I have it up. 48% from 3, bro. 48% from 3.
Insane.
Where do you guard him from?
56% from the field. 56% from the field. 2 steals per game. We can keep going. This stat sheet is outrageous. He's the MVP. I'm sorry. Russell Westbrook set a precedent, and we can't just keep going back and forth. Oh well, when one person did it, it was okay. Now when this person does it, well, Shai's the most valuable because he's the best player on the best team.
I'm still picking Shai.
I'm picking Jokic.
Shai's averaging. He's shooting 60% from twos. Like
I'm gonna be real with you, Tyler.
At the elitist rate that we've ever seen.
I have a very strong feeling nobody pays attention to his 2-point percentage when they're voting for him.
I do. I pay attention to everything. His finishing matters, and he's a 2-way player.
I imagine Jokic's 2-point percentage is also very high.
It is,
but real quick, guys, like
he's a big.
I feel like I feel like Shai is having a good year and he's doing all this dog stuff, but like what Nikolai is doing out there, I mean, I kind of agree with Nas. I want Shai to win. I think he deserves it, but like it's one thing to deserve it and it's another thing to earn it, and I think Nikolai is earning another MVP. For 3 straight years in a row, it's being earned.
Not earning it,
like we're watching it, huh?
So keep in mind, Shai's averaging 32, 5, and 6, and we know how he is defensively. We know the type of player that he is. Is he not earning it?
Yeah, he is, but he's not earning it like that guy's earning it. 30, 13, 10, 2. Shooting 90, 50, 80. Well, I don't know if he's shooting 90 for the free throw line, but 50, 40 from the field. He damn near. If I was to do this
56-48 to be specific.
If I was to do this on the stats and put my hand over it and see that player and compare it next to Shai, I would pick that other player every time as an MVP, and that's how I vote my MVPs.
I also look at your standings though. Like, the Thunder dealt with injuries throughout the year. We've talked about them multiple times. Shai's been there almost the entire time, and they're keeping it up. The Nuggets, they're a 4 seed. They are what? They are 3 games away from being in the play-in.
Wait, they're not in the playoffs?
Stacks up. No, but I'm saying they're 3 games away from being out of the playoffs and being in the play-in.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, that's just the West though. Shit, you could
But
sneeze and
that's
be
the
a
thing.
7
So
seed.
we're comparing a
Listen,
fourth
Russell
seed
Westbrook set the
who has
precedence.
the best record in the NBA. I don't care about precedent. Precedent don't matter. I didn't think he should have won it that year. I think James Harden should
But
have
he
won it.
did.
That's why I
So
vote. The
now,
president doesn't matter.
But we're talking about our vote.
yeah, fuck
Our
Trump.
vote.
But other than that, see what I did there? I'm just saying, Westbrook set the precedence. If Westbrook is able to win it, Nikola Jokic should have the same level of whatever. I don't even know what word I'm trying to use there, but he should have the same odds, the same
Relevancy.
possibility. Um, he should be given the same leniency that Westbrook was given. Westbrook was a 6th seed, and because he had a triple double historical season, he got it. Well, Jokic is having a historical season, about to average a 30-point triple double, the first big man to average a triple double. I think he deserves it. Shea deserves it too, though. Shea deserves it too, though. Of course, he's having a phenomenal
Every
season
morning,
as well.
my dad got punched in the face when he was on his way to work. So now, because he did that, I have to do that. That don't make any sense.
That is the craziest
just because of one instance
and most irrelevant analogy I've ever heard. Like, what?
Just because of one instance that you don't agree with, because I know that you didn't agree that he should have won it, doesn't mean that we should keep doing that. Westbrook should never won MVP. He was not the most valuable player that year.
I agree.
And I think that
he was
Jokic
the first player ever
there.
to average a triple double since Oscar Robinson. He deserved that.
What do rebounds matter for a
ever.
guard? What do rebounds matter for a guard when you have Steven Adams boxing out?
For Westbrook to
Steven Adams could just got that rebound.
What I'm saying is, he's the first player since Oscar Robinson to average a triple double, and he's 6'3", averaging 10 rebounds. That's
what I'm saying.
That's big.
We saw that Steven Adams was boxing out for him.
But that's not.
What does it matter that he got the rebound and Steven Adams didn't?
I think Jokic averaging 10 assists is far more impressive than Westbrook averaging 10 rebounds. Because at the end of the day, who did we lose?
I'm here.
Peace. Oh, well.
Just had to blow my nose.
What was I going to say? That's not even important. My point is, I of course I did not agree with Westbrook winning MVP, but that's because my criteria stops at 4th seed. That's how I stop it. Anything lower than that, I don't believe you deserve it. Jokic has met my cutoff with all the ability in the world to continue to rise as well.
Cutoff used to be the 3rd seed, though. When we used to talk about this, he definitely used to be the 3rd seed.
Nah, 3rd and 4th were always my borderline there. Anything below 4th, I just can't do it. 4th is like, well, you're getting there. 3 is okay, good. That's good now. But either way, I do believe Jokic deserves it. I think he's playing phenomenal. I don't think the Nuggets are the same team that they used to be, and he is really just carrying them on his shoulders. I think the Thunder have gotten better. Even with losing Chet, everybody just continues to be better. Everybody just continues to play great basketball. When we're looking at value, I believe Jokic brings more value to the table than Shea. But they both bring great value. So, like, that comparison is just, not necessary at the end of the day. I just think, historically speaking, Jokic deserves it. But it's not one of those MVP awards where if Shea wins it, I would be like, oh, that's crazy. I think he deserves it just as much because he's playing phenomenal basketball, but that would be my vote. Jokic would be my vote.
It was like the Embiid one, the Embiid versus Jokic, where it's like, if any of them win it, sure. I don't care.
Yeah. But that's all we got, ladies and gentlemen, for today. We had a couple things left over on our list, but we're going on 1 hour and 30 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, man. If y'all were willing to sit with us for this long, we appreciate you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a comment. We always ask y'all to leave a comment if you stuck with us this far because we appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. But that's it. Hoop Talk Season 2, Episode 9 is a wrap. We'll catch y'all next week for Episode 10. Let's Hoop Talk next week, y'all. Deuces.